I don't know what the fuck you guys are thinking. You don't ever talk about my band again. What's this honest brutality shit anyway?
Honest brutality.
This is Wolfgang King from Melted Vinyl, and you're listening to Honest Brutality.
Hey everybody, Camera Rebel here from Honest Brutality. I am sitting here with my partner in crime, Mr. Evil. Hey.
What's going on?
Oh man, we got a lot of stuff going on. And in fact, right now we have the guys from Melted Vinyl on the line. Hey guys, how are you?
Good, how about you? What's up?
We're doing good. I love the enthusiasm. It's awesome. What we're going to do is, just so we kind of can relate the voice to the name, go ahead and introduce yourself and then tell us what instrument you play.
I'm Landon Ferris, I play bass. I'm Sam Kritzer, I play the drums.
I'm Alex Bender, I play lead guitar.
I'm Wolfgang King, I'm the lead singer.
Awesome.
What a lead singer name.
I know.
Wolfgang.
It's rad. It's so cool. Yeah, because I saw your name and I was like, holy cow, like that's like straight out of the 60s or something. It's amazing.
Right.
So anyhow, you guys popped on my radar. You actually submitted to us on Reverb Nation. And I took a listen, and you definitely stopped me dead in my tracks with a song, Look to the Sky. Did you guys just recently release your self-titled EP, Melted Vinyl?
Well, thank you. We released that EP semi-recently, about a year ago.
I tell you what, it's pretty amazing. What has the feedback been on your EP?
Well, we've heard a lot of really good things about it. A lot of people, like you said, Look to the Sky. They really like that one, and Driving Me Mad and Dogfight. Those have been like the three biggest ones. And we've gotten a lot of different comparisons. Like people compare us to like Led Zeppelin or Foo Fighters,
right,
which is awesome because there's a lot of people who we like. And what's it called? The Dogfight's actually being featured in a Sony feature film called Accident Man. Yeah. So it's been great. A lot of people are loving it, and we haven't really heard a lot of negative things, so we're thankful for that. But it's been all positive.
And you guys are out there playing. You guys are doing some really good shows. I saw that you did the Whiskey, the House of Blues, the Roxy Theater. Wasn't that last night, the Roxy Theater?
Yeah. We just played at the Roxy last night. It was great.
Yeah. So what is your crowd numbers looking like?
Well, like last night it was about 200 people, but we played the Troubadour a couple months ago and we completely sold it out, and it was about 500, which is the max capacity, and
That's
that was
awesome.
That was black.
Good for you. Good for you guys. That must feel amazing when you can sell out a show.
Oh, yeah. It was crazy. I mean, we all had huge smiles on our faces.
Aww.
It was like Christmas.
It was like Christmas.
Well, for the listening audience, you guys are based in the Los Angeles music scene.
Yeah.
What's it like as far as the type of music you do versus the type of music you're surrounded by? Because you guys are rock and roll, but you're more of a bluesy, it's roots rock, right? I mean, it's really good stuff, but you're surrounded by a lot of these metalcore bands. And how does that work out for you?
Well, I think it's funny you ask that question. Los Angeles, a lot of the people aren't really surprised by like a lot of rock music, and they're more into like pop and EDM and like more of the hits one type.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of at a disadvantage in the first place. But once you're able to get past that and kind of find your fans and market the right way, then you get people down your shows. And I think our music, even though it has its roots in rock and roll, it's kind of like classic rock, but like with our own spin on it. So we like to call it like new classic rock because it can connect to like, the alternative crowd and like a little bit of like the alt pop kind of crowd.
Right.
So that's what we're getting.
That's awesome. Is that what you were shooting for? Let's talk a little bit about your musical style. Where did that crop up from?
Well, I think we all kind of love the classics. Like, we grew up listening to Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple.
The Who, Rolling Stones,
all of that. And I think when we started Melted Vinyl, we were really kind of dead set on playing that. But then as we kind of matured, we started finding a lot of new music that we also liked. Like you said, Highly Suspect and Royal Blood. So I think we kind of morphed our style into becoming like this new classic rock that can reach out to the old and the new generation.
So what is your favorite Highly Suspect song?
That's a really hard question. They're like my favorite band right now, or one of them. It's kind of hard to say, but I'd probably have to say Lydia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic
What
video
about you?
too.
Oh, the video is just amazing.
What's your favorite Highly Suspect song?
What's mine?
Yeah.
You know, I love Lydia, but like Basalts, it's just that whole album. I love it. The song Mom is amazing as well. But, and then their second one that they released is really different from the first one, you know,
A lot of growth there.
Yeah. But I prefer the first one. You know, getting back, you said, marketing the right way. What are you guys doing as far as marketing up there?
I think on social media, we're reaching out to a lot of the younger crowd, and we're kind of advertising in that, you know, targeted group to a lot of people who are already following some of the people, similar bands, like Highly Suspect, Royal Blood, and the alternative kind of crowd. And then also when we play, we like to play, like when we headlined last night, there was, how many other bands? Like three other bands, right, that are playing music, but I would say similar to ours, not exactly like ours, but we purposely put ourselves with that crowd because we know that we can kind of win over the fans.
Right. And that's very smart. That's very smart. You guys released your EP about a year ago. How long have you guys been a band?
5 years.
Yeah.
Summer of 2012.
A while.
Wow. How did you guys form?
Well, I was doing like a school, like a music school with my bassist Landon, and we'd known each other forever, and we always wanted to put together a band, and we found Wolfgang and our original guitar player. He's no longer with us, and we decided to form a band, call ourselves Melted Vinyl, and a few years later we got Alex, and here we are today.
So the name Melted Vinyl, is that also a throwback to the classic rock thing?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. I think it kind of does it justice because, you know, when you bring back the word vinyl, a lot of kids our age have no idea what that is or pronounce it vinyl or the amount of times I've heard, yo, melted vinyl is great.
Oh my
God. That's funny.
That is funny. What about doing vinyl? Have you guys thought about putting your EP on vinyl, or if you were working on new material, coming out with a vinyl?
Yeah, we're working on lots of songs for our next album, and that one we'd love to put on vinyl and get it out there.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you guys are working on new material.
There's a huge resurgence in the vinyl scene down there.
I love vinyl. A record player in my house, got all like Foo Fighters, Smashing Pumpkins, Led Zeppelin, everything.
That's cool.
That is so awesome.
I like to mess with little kids when they come over and show them cassette tapes and 8-tracks and have them guess what they are.
Yeah.
Back to the material that you guys are working on. When are you looking to release it?
Well, we played 2 of the new songs the first time last night, but I think in the next year, after we kind of get a lot of material written up, so we can really narrow down the one
collection.
Exactly, a bigger collection we want to record. I think then we'll go into the studio by like next year and try to write and put together another album, but I don't know anything for certain. But that's what we're doing, is just working and writing.
I think what you're doing is pretty interesting. Now, as you guys go forward, do you have an idea that you're going to try and stick in a vein? Or when you write things, do you just write what feels good? Or are you trying to write specific targeted types of song?
Well, I mean, like always, you have to write what you want to write and
Love it.
what feels good. But, I mean, obviously we all kind of have the same mindset of the type of music that we like and the type of music we want to play. So what feels good to us is kind of like our targeted genre of music.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of go hand in hand, luckily enough for us.
Well, you were citing the songs that people seem to tell you that are their favorites, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to rock the ship here because Funk My Bunk is badass.
Thank
Well,
you.
as a drummer for a lot of years, that's the kind of stuff I love to play. That's so fun. It's so in the pocket. And I got to tell you, you got some really interesting drum work going on there.
Thanks.
And then Reflections. What were you guys thinking, and what was the thought process with the time signature swapping and changing?
That was something we randomly did, rehearsing it one day, just getting its bass down. And then we brought it into the studio, and the producer fell in love with that idea, so we brought it up gradually throughout the bridge.
Yeah, in the studio, it was interesting to try to figure out how to get that done because, a lot of bands don't really do that. So we actually just took out the metronome and did it naturally with the band and brought it up by ourselves, just using our own music and training. And it was really cool to do because, we've never done anything like that before. And, I think we're all really happy with how it sounded.
So that's interesting. You took the metronome out of the room and did it live.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what we're all about because we definitely have like a super raw vibe to us and a live kind of playing and setting to us. So that like when we had that in there, I think it represented us pretty well.
So are you guys going to be working on any kind of official video? I didn't see one up on YouTube.
Definitely in our plans.
Definitely in our plans. But right now we're really focusing on writing a lot of stuff for the next album that we do. But definitely for the next album when we come out with that, hopefully we'll try to do some music videos for that one. But we've always wanted to do one. We just kind of been focusing on other things, sadly.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to the videos that we have seen are live performances. And you guys,
really
you guys are full of energy.
Mm-hmm.
You have a great stage presence. The only thing that I would comment on that caught my eye was I'm looking at you guys and everybody looks the part. You got like kind of this 70s rocker thing going on, and it pans over to Landon and he looks like Abercrombie and Finch, I'm busting your chops, guy.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
You guys look great on stage. You look like you're having a really good time. You're full of energy. And I'm assuming that translates to the crowd and they really feed on that.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Yeah. No, like last night, you really see how the crowd responds to what you're putting out there. And it's great. The more you put out, the more they give back to you.
Right. What would you say your biggest challenge as a band is right now?
Biggest challenge? I think the biggest challenge would probably be a hard question. I think, trying to just figure out how we're going to get the next record done with everything and kind of getting the funding for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Every band goes through that struggle, but I think that's what our biggest problem is right now. Because, if we had it our way, we'd be already putting out like our 5th record right now if we could, but
right.
You're always limited to what your budget is.
Well, that, and sometimes it's a blessing that you get slowed down because it forces you to put out an even better product really in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. No, for sure. There's definitely lots of different philosophies on writing songs, and there's some people that'll tell you, you should write all new material by the next month, have nothing. But I think everyone here is kind of in agreement that the harder you work for the song, the longer you take to make the individual better.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too. So
it sounds like you guys work together pretty well as a team. With that being said, how often do you argue, and what do you argue about?
It's funny. We don't really argue at all, to be honest. Like, none of us really have any egos. We all are just in it for the music. We're all really good friends. And, I can't really say anything else besides that. Like, we're all just kind of brothers in the band. And, united by like a common purpose.
Yeah.
That's good.
No drama for you guys. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay.
No. You know what? We really love it when bands, such as yourself do that. I mean, they join together because you know what it does? You guys are creating amazing music and it's going to feed into the longevity of your band.
Well, not only that, but we're of the opinion that music saves lives.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And I think also, what were you saying?
Oh, no, I was just saying that music saves lives. One well-written song, one well-delivered song could change the course of someone's life. It can change their day, that bad day where they were going to do something awful to someone else or themselves. It can change that opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's probably why we don't fight is we're just so into the music and what we're producing and how hard we're working that it kind of keeps us from doing that because the product is just, it's so worth it. And also because like a lot of people aren't listening to the type of music we're listening to and the type of influences we have. So it's always cool, like when you go in a rehearsal room and you can talk to like your buddies about Led Zeppelin or, Thin Lizzy something when no one really knows about it. So it's kind of like that almost outcast, like Band of Misfits thing that I think binds it together even more.
Yeah. Well, and really it's an interesting thing too, and not that I think it's trendy or anything like that, but it just seems like this kind of stuff, when I run across certain bands, I always run across them in little pockets. And bands like yourself who've kind of got a retro feel to what they're doing, and you brought up Led Zeppelin. Have you heard Greta Van Fleet?
I have.
Yes.
Now, am I the only one that finds that a remarkable Robert Plant? I mean, is it not there, or am I hearing that wrong?
100%.
Yeah, Josh, I think his name is. His voice is uncanny. How crazy there's similarities to Plants.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's almost like a reincarnation of the band.
Right. It's amazing.
I mean, the kid playing drums is good. He's no John Bonham, but I'm just saying we were listening. That came up last night, and I thought, but this is really strange how we kind of run across these types of bands who are.
Retro, yeah.
Well, they don't even mean to be. I don't think they're trying to be retro.
Yeah, it's just the sound, which is amazing. So now you guys, what do you guys, do you guys have jobs? Are you, any of you going to college? What are you guys doing, during the day when you're not messing around?
Couch surfing,
yeah.
Yeah, I actually attend Musicians Institute during the day, so I go to school for guitar and music and all that.
Nice.
Great stuff, and then at night or whatever, we have rehearsals and shows and whatnot, and that's what I do during the day.
Yeah. I just go to community college. I'm just getting my general ed stuff out of the way. So I have a good reinforced education. Yeah, definitely.
Good.
Yeah.
Me and Sam are both in high school, so.
Yeah, doing that. Also surf. Me and Landon not anymore, but I still surf when I have a second and try to have fun.
You surf, you say?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Yeah, I can't do it. I tried. I just look like shark food. That's it.
That's funny. So what is your guys' peer support like?
Okay. I mean, I normally have like a good amount of my friends coming down to the show, and they're all really supportive, because as like with our type of music, when you tell someone you're in a rock band or something, they kind of assume it's something different.
Right.
But like, since they're your friends and you kind of like they're forced to listen to your music and see like the truth to it, they actually like it and they like going to the shows. I mean, it's always great to see like your friends there, like.
Right. Especially in the musicians community here, with a lot of kids, going for their dreams in the music field. It's all just we're all in the same boat, so we all kind of support each other and all come to each other's shows and stuff. And that's it's a great community, but. It's great. It's great support for everyone. So
absolutely, and it's really important to get your friends involved for the grassroots movement as well as getting free roadies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Trust me.
Definitely. So, what do you guys have coming up for future shows?
Well, We're playing at the Wounded Warrior Project Festival in Bakersfield in Stanley Park, September 16. And we're opening up for Jefferson Starship again, actually, at the Canyon Club in Santa Clarita on January 20th.
Yeah, that's a brand new Canyon Club that they're opening there. So
yeah, it's gonna be cool.
That's very cool.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Do you guys see any festivals on the forefront?
Yeah, we've been submitting ourselves to a lot of festivals and kind of hearing back from them. So we have a lot in the future, but we obviously it's coming in the future. So
yeah,
we're not announcing anything yet.
Yeah, and this year's cycle is kind of winding down anyway, so everything would be next year at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw something on your Facebook about Warped Tour. So are you guys entering a contest for Warped Tour?
Yeah. We entered a contest for that, and we played at a venue.
Okay, you did.
And yeah, we're in the mix. We're still waiting to hear back from that one.
Yeah, we just attended Warped Tour. Pretty interesting. There's a lot of bands going on. It's just
it is
insane.
Pretty chaotic. It is. But I think it's really good exposure wise. I think you get to see bands you would never normally see otherwise.
Oh yeah. Definitely, the music festival is really cool.
It is, and it's gotten. I thought that for a while there, I was afraid that it was going to kind of diminish and peter out in the United States, and in fact, I think it's flourished and it's doing better than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely here. Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on the music industry today, in general? I mean, you're from a different era than I am, and I've seen a lot, and I have my opinions. What are yours about digital streaming versus record sales versus labels? What are your thoughts?
It's a whole different ball game now. You know, when you go to school, that's the first thing they'll tell you is that, you know, it's not the same. You can't count on a record deal from a major label, especially when we're doing music that isn't going to be, you know, like a top 40 stuff or whatever. So you have to approach it a different way and try to, research different streams of income. And I mean, there's ways to do it. So it's possible. It's just, you know, very tough to do now. So you just got to be clever about how you do it and use your resources.
Yeah. And also when a lot of record companies offer deals, like we've gotten a few bites, they're just all like really bad and they own tons of the music and they own all of it. And the fact is it's not worth taking them because they just basically own you at that point.
Right.
And you have to build your fame up on your own before you take a major record company's deal.
Right. Just gotta be smart about it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And and like also like America's Got Talent wanted us to do something with them. And it's just the deals that all of these like startup musicians are getting are just so bad that
they are.
You're selling your soul if you take one of them.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, and it's very valid. I'm really glad to hear that from your mouth. I'm really glad to hear that from you guys. I'm never going to tell somebody that they're wrong necessarily. I mean, I do. It's kind of part of the show, Honest Brutality, for God's sake. But, you know, there's times when people have their mindset up and they're going to do something a certain way, and that's the way they're going to do it. I think the best way for most bands to go now, in my opinion, is to get partnered with a label for distribution and not let them have any ownership of your material.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. But I mean, the tough part about that is you have to build up your fame to get a good like that.
Right.
So we're willing to take the long road on that one, and you know, just
do what's best for us.
Yeah.
Well,
build ourselves up.
And you guys are relatively. I mean, I know that so 5 years the band has been formed and been working, but you're just now really kind of stepping out there in the last year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah. It's been huge for us.
Yeah. So, I mean, in that respect, you're relatively babies in the music scene and there's a lot of noise out there. So you're going to have to really rattle some cages, kick down some doors and go out there and kick ass when you get on that stage. That's going to be what you have to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're coming out guns blazing, that's for sure.
And that is a pep talk from Uncle Evil.
That's right. Well, and I think you guys have it. I think you have everything you need.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about your influences. You gave us some ideas. Let's go around the table and give me that one band, that one song that really influenced you, made you want to be a musician, or shaped your style musically.
For me, Alex here. it was undoubtedly Led Zeppelin. I mean, the first time I consciously heard, a Zeppelin song, I think it was Kashmir. I think I heard, I listened to it and the power and just the intensity they had. It was only music, but it was so much more than that. To me, that made me, want to pick up a guitar and do it. And then, once I started writing stuff and playing with Melted Vinyl and getting into this, it was just all came together. And that's, for me, was what it was Zeppelin and Jimmy Page.
Any specific song? Like one specific tune that like really shook your cage?
Oh, Whole Lot of Love, I think undoubtedly just tore it down. And, the intensity, the raw energy, and but the way they held it together too, it was for me, that was it. That was it.
Right. Yeah, an amazing song.
For me, Landon, I think the song 25 or 64 by Chicago, I think that's one of the most badass songs ever written. And I think that's where a lot of the groove and tightness is where that's inspired from.
Wow, that's very cool. That's a neat call out. That's a band I don't hear referenced a lot, and they're a fantastic frickin' band. I mean, some of the stuff they wrote was epic.
Yeah, of course. Big fan.
So Wolfgang here. So I mean, I grew up. I just have to go with Deep Purple. I mean, I grew up like and you'd always hear "Smoke on the Water" on the radio, and that's their biggest song, but. Like as I grew up more and I get exposed to more music and, I start researching bands and their, more of their material. I have to say Highway Star by Deep Purple is just top notch,
Absolutely.
everything.
And I could see that too, because it has those soaring vocals,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, that there's a big blues influence there too.
Yeah.
And it's the start. It was the start of something great. I mean, that's a very influential song for me.
Yeah, and from Sam here, like I said before, I'm gonna have to go with Lydia by Highly Suspect. But I mean, that's a tough one because I could sit here and talk about 5 bands that are contenders for my top one. But if I have to choose one, it's gonna go with that one because I just think the energy and. The vibe that's given off there from just the raw musicianship is unparalleled.
That's awesome.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, I think it's going to be pretty cool when we talk again in 5 or 10 years and bands are telling us that you're their influence. That's going to be pretty neat.
Yes, it will.
Hopefully.
All right, guys. Well, was there anything that we didn't talk about today that you wanted to?
Just social media accounts. Just our social media accounts. If anyone our music or they listen to us, they should go check us out on our Spotify accounts or iTunes or sign up for our mailing list on our website, melted-vinyl.com. And that's it.
All right. Awesome.
Wonderful.
You guys have been fantastic guests. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, for supporting us.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Well, thank you for bringing Melted Vinyl to the table, Rebel.
Oh, thank you. I just absolutely love their style. I love what they got going on. They're old souls. It's amazing, that their age. I mean, they're fairly young.
We brought that up a few times, and we didn't really discuss it with them because I think it's kind of arbitrary, but they're fairly young gentlemen, right?
It is. Oh, yes, absolutely. But the music that they're playing and the way that they're bringing it is just, like I said, it's just like old souls. It's just
it's kind of refreshing as much as we started the show and we do a lot of metal.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of the softer side of metal with rock, but we don't always touch on these bands that aren't necessarily, hard rock or metal.
Right.
And it's really nice because there's times when, I'm in a mood where I want something
different
that kind of speaks to my soul with a lighter touch.
Right.
And these guys, they kick ass and take names, but it's definitely got more of a soul blues.
Yeah, and
it's smooth and it's really, really good stuff.
Yeah, love it.
I think that these guys have a big future ahead of them if they do the right things and continue to do what they're doing. They're all very musically minded. Yes, and in today's day and age, that can be deadly or wonderful or both. So
I think it's going to be wonderful for these guys. They're definitely going to climb the charts.
Now, best of luck to them. I hope so, and I hope to be hearing more from Melted Vinyl. Go over, check them out. Tell them that Honest Brutality sent you, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you so much for listening.
Got a girl in my life. She don't know it yet. Crazy things seem